Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Richmond Raceway for the 8th race in the 2021 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series. We're gearing up for 80 laps of action here under the lights for the third straight short track race in the span of 5-race stretch with my man Vince Freeze once again in the booth. Glad you could make it, Vince.
Thank you, buddy. Virginia is for lovers, is the old saying. We're at Richmond under the lights. We got a couple leechers on the front row and some truck regulars looking to be hungry. But back to you as we prepare for 80 laps of action.
Nate Rogers on the pole for the first time this year in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. He's already got one win on the season back at Texas a few weeks ago. He's looking to maybe be the first driver to get to 2 victories on the season. Allison Rain starts to his outside. Rain got a top 5 last week at North Wilkesboro, 2 laps down after we had probably the biggest and worst crash in Jerky Pro history that took out pretty much the entire field, all but about 7 or 8 trucks. Row 2 is Jonathan Wong and Owen Miles. Row 3, Zach Rogers and Charles Sanford. Row 4, Donovan Cage and Laura Chung. And in row 5, the man on the hot streak himself, Henry Sanford, who's gone 4 races in a row with a top 10 finish, and Carter Friesen, who has yet to get a top 10 finish on the season. I'll go through the rest of the starting lineup really quickly as Vince does not have a lot of notes to go over.
No, not much at all. Let's actually start with the fuel window. It's 38 to 42 laps. With the weather here, nice and clear under the lights, and of course tire wear, I expect some undercuts, maybe a couple overcuts for the guys in the back. And it's only about two seconds. We're going to just guesstimate here. We've been like that all season, though, for the tire wear. And we'll really talk about points later on the show. That's about it, Zach. That's all I got. Clean race, usually.
Max Anderson won the race last week at North Wilkesboro. First win of his career and of the season. He's now got 1 win, 5 top 5s, 5 top 10s on the year, putting him 45 points ahead of this driver, Audra Baranowskis, who had a poor qualifying effort. She starts 39th here today. Gatlin Downey is 3rd in the points, 64 points back. He starts just inside the top 20, along with James Ellison, who's 4th in the points, 86 points back. 5th in the points, Zach Rogers is the highest out of the 5 of them, starting in 5th place. So it'll be interesting to see how Rogers does today and how many points potentially he could gain on Max Anderson. But Anderson has been the hot driver all season long with an average finish of 6.29. Will this be the 3rd race he doesn't get a top 10 in? Rest of the top 10 in the points, Henry Sanford, Sam Young, without a top 5 all year so far for Sam Young, Jonathan Wong, Donovan Cage, and Jack James. So we've only got 2 of our 7 race winners on the season inside the top 10 in points, and that is due in part to Charles Sanford, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Nate Rogers, and Quinton Moore winning races as Cup Series drivers down here in Jerky Pro. And just like that, we are green flag racing here at Richmond. As a reminder, with all short track events, we do not have caution flags. Nate Rogers clears Rain for the lead. Rain will get down into turn 3. And just like that, lap 1 is complete.
No, it's early, Zach. Allison Rain looking for that first Truck Series win ever. Let's see if it happens tonight. A little history on the line.
It is pretty crazy to think that 2-time Digital Storm Cup champion Allison Rain has yet to win in 4+ seasons of Jerky Pro competition, though she did only run full-time in 2017 and 2018, so it's not like she has had a lot of opportunities since 2019. But she's got the pressure on Nate Rogers as Zach Rogers is putting pressure on Jonathan Wong.
3 wide in the back there with James Ellison. Zach Rogers looks his way up to the front. There we go.
There's the 3 wide in the middle of the field. Ellison passing Max Anderson and some others there for positions. And they should be able to hold this 3 wide pretty easy. It's if they went 4 wide that I would start to get concerned. But there is a bit of a top side.
There are 2 protagonists from last week, Vargas Anderson. North Wilkesboro. It's interesting.
That dude Anderson was 3 wide on the top, and he got enough of a run to get down to the bottom in turn 3. That is insane. Carter Friesen, though, it's looking like tonight could be the night. Running in 7th place behind Owen Miles, who's currently the highest rookie on track. Friesen's season has not gone his way. He's 36th in the points without a single top 10 on the year, and he's gotten a pole up to this point. But Friesen, ever since he started the playoffs last year, has just not had a top 10 finish. The same thing happened to Henry Sanford. Henry has gotten his stuff underway. He's looking for what would be his 5th straight top 10 after going the first 3 races without a top 10. And Henry went from outside the top 30 in the points after 3 races, Vince, to sitting 6th in the points.
It's all about that gel, Zach. You got a chemistry block in the beginning of the season. And once you hit that block, you find the sweet spot. People like Sanford, even Carter Friesen, they'll find it eventually. It takes time, especially with the truck series. We had a lot of those breaks. Now we're starting to get into the meat and potatoes of the schedule.
Laura Chung, our Daytona winner, running 8th place here on track. I'm trying to find her in the point standings. She comes in 15th in the point. She's only got one other top 10 finish on the season outside of her Daytona victory. But because of the way we hand out the points this year, she is still 15th in the standings. Looking for what would be that 3rd top 10 of the season. Colt Hudson, Henry Sanford also still inside the top 10. Ellison has made his way up to 12th place. Donovan Cage, Sam Young trying to charge towards the top 10 as well. Bradley Ream, Max Anderson racing side by side. There's Gatlin Downey. RJ Bishop fighting with Christian Vargas for 20th place. Dylan Ibrahimian struggling a little bit so far. There's Deanna Jones, Jack James, Enzo Nareza, and some others. Yael Carrillo had a poor qualifying run just like Baranowskis, and it looks like neither of them have been able to make any ground forward. Looks like they're just stuck running on the bottom lane. Pretty much everyone back here is just at a standstill. So at the front of the field, it is still Nate Rogers in the lead, as he and Rain are trying to inch away from Jonathan Wong, who's got a bumper full of Zach Rogers. As Friesen is trying to find the way by Owen Miles, can't quite get it done. Chung gets a bit of a run out of turn 2. That puts her to the outside. See Friesen just trying to find a way to turn underneath the 25.
And Zach, early on, just looking through that run down through the field, I think it's up to Zach Rogers here. I think he needs to get past Wong. He's a little quicker. I see him on exit, easing the throttle a little bit better. If he can get past, I think it could be a top 3 battle. But for now, it's the 2 leechers, as they like to say, up front.
James Ellison looking for 11th place here on Mitchell Collins. Ellens was very good at the short track stretch last year, where he finally got a W at, I believe it was Bristol Dirt, and he did very well at Martinsville as well as the Dodge Motordrome. So Ellison showing his short track success here tonight. Ellison got 2 wins last year in what was his 3rd Jerky Pro season, and he has yet to win so far in 2021, as Friesen will make the move on Owen Miles again for 6th place. And I believe we're seeing something similar that we saw at Rockingham, Vince, where these guys get in the groups where there's a rookie in front of them or someone who's just that little bit slower than the next truck in line, and it just really holds everyone up. And I really feel like if Friesen can get to the inside and complete this pass on Owen Miles, he will start to drive away from him.
Yeah, there's not much of a draft, but there is a slightly more of a draft in the trucks compared to the Cup Series. And I like to say it's the Peloton versus the chasing packs here. We have a Peloton up front with the 2 leaders and the chasing packs of 1, 2, 3, and so on throughout the pack. Fun dynamic to watch throughout the race.
We see Laura Chung got pushed to the outside by Colt Hudson, and now Ellison is going to try and take away 10th place from her, as Friesen is still fighting with Owen Miles. Behind them, it's a dogfight between Sam Young and Donovan Cage for 13th place. Sam Young still looking for his first career Jerky Pro Truck Series win. As we're about halfway to the window, Sam Young will complete the move there for 13th. As Ream is trying to complete the move for 15th on Max Anderson. And there it is.
Back to the front.
Owen Miles got passed by Friesen and Colt Hudson. Now Ellison is on the outside of Henry Sanford looking for what would be 9th place. You see, he gets the run off the corner. Is he going to get it done? He is, and he's going to make a move to the inside of Owen Miles. Ooh, that was a little tight. Ellison's going to squeeze Henry on the bottom, take the position away from him, and get by Owen Miles at the same time. What a move by James Ellison. That's why Hendrick Motorsport signed this man a year ago.
Edgar Lowe's do it right move of the race there, I think he would say. But anyway, Zach, I got to talk about the tire fall off, man, with the strategy. It seems like these three here are just staying in line, and the top two are just breaking away. I guess that's the experience coming into play.
Looks like the top two ran about the same lap, 22.694 for Nate Rogers, 22.732 for Rain. They are only about 4 or 5 tenths off of that. Jonathan Wong, Zach Rogers, and Charles Sanford are a little more a ways off of that. So it looks like we've got about 4 to 6 tenths of fall off here, 20 laps into the run. So not as much fall off as we expected, but I believe that cliff comes a little bit later. As you see, Friesen up to 6th, and Ellison looking for 7th place on Hudson. So Ellison's been the big mover as far as drivers who started outside of the top 10 thus far, and it looks like Sam Young might have some similar speed as he is driving his way towards the top 10, as Bradley Ream has made it by Donovan Cage. Downey looking to do the same, as right now the main drivers to be looking at gaining points on Max Anderson here are Gatlin Downey, James Ellison, and Zach Rogers, as Baranowskis still sits 37th at the bottom of the field. The fastest lap on the race goes to the 74 of Jonathan Wong with a 22.679.
It just makes you wonder, Zach, if Ellison had the track position, would he be fighting in that first pack, chasing pack of Wong, Rogers, and then in the group and company? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe pit stops, that undercut strategy could work in his favor.
Well, Mitchell Collins was running in 11th pretty much the entire run before Ellison caught up to him, and now Sam Young is there. Laura Chung and Owen Miles have been passed by the veterans who were racing behind them. So now they've got their own little mini battle for the top 10 there. As Henry Sanford runs in 9th, Hudson 8th. Ellison is right on Friesen's bumper for 6th. And then there's a 4-second jump up to 5th place to Charles Sanford. And I mean, at this point, it really looks like it's going to probably come down to who pits when. If the 39 has anything for the top two, I would have expected him to have made a move by now. But we'll see. Strategy could make things interesting, as I believe we should be about 10 to 14 laps away from that. So we'll take another peek at the back of the field. So you see Baranowskis trying to get by Enzo Nereza for 35th place.
Dave Baranowskis was expecting, especially with the points chase and Anderson up ahead.
Now, when it comes to short tracks, it seems like qualifying is super important. And really here, it looks like it's been very tough to pass. The top side can get a pretty good run off the corner if the drivers hit it right. And Baranowskis has been struggling because of that. Jack James, another driver who's been struggling, currently running 31st. He comes into this race 10th in the standings. Yael Carrillo came into this race a point behind Jack James, and right now he is looking to take that points position away from him as he's going to challenge Derek Hamill for 28th. There's Christian Vargas, who finished 2nd last week. He's currently running 23rd. As you see, Donovan Cage has continued to just slowly fall backward. Now he's about to lose 16th to Gene Sanford. As Sam Young, Bradley Ream, and Gatlin Downing are all stuck behind the trio of rookie drivers. Just outside the top 10, as Owen Miles has that last top 10 position right now. You see Ream making a move on Sam Young. That is for 13th place.
It just seems like right now everyone's minding their P's and Q's, and Sam Young goes way up the track, looking for grip out there, but not going to find it.
And James Ellison challenging Friesen for 6th. That's another 2 points. With Max Anderson outside the top 10 right now, that's a crucial 2 points for Ellison. Meanwhile, Friesen is not even top 30 in the standings.
Matters more for James. He knows he's a championship threat. Friesen's maybe there for the occasional win at a wild card track as of right now.
And right there, you can see how Ellison gets in good to the center, and then Friesen gets that run off the corner. Friesen's been very wiggly going into turn 3. Henry Sanford's making a move on Colt Hudson at the same time for 8th. Nothing going on, though, for the top 5. Actually, no, wait. Charles Sanford is challenging Zach Rogers for 4th. As fall off, they've hit a bit more of a cliff. It's down to about a second now. So not as big of a fall off as I expected here for the Jerky Pro race.
If you watch those pre-race notes, it's guesstimate, people. Guesstimate. We're not there yet on the analytics just for now. We'll see. Maybe the second run we'll see something different.
Nate Rogers has just been inching away from Allison Rain this entire run as well. Nate has won here before in the Digital Storm Cup Series. He won that race all the way back in 2017, so it has been a long time since that win, but the experience at this track definitely paying off for Nate Rogers since the Truck Series has never been to this racetrack before. This is the debut race for the Jerky Pro Truck Series. Kind of shocking we've never come here before, to be honest, as well.
My first Richmond race, too, on this channel. I don't think I've ever seen a Richmond race on this channel. It's all new here, Zach. It's a new time to be alive, as Sanford could not make the pass on Rogers.
Meanwhile, behind them, James Ellison was able to make the pass on Carter Friesen, but Henry Sanford could not get by Colt Hudson for 8th. And now look at that. Ellison gets by Friesen. What's he's doing? He's a 10th faster. Running 23.8s. Running about the same times as the top 2. Depending on how this strategy works out, you could see Ellison maybe have a chance at a top 5, but he is 5 seconds back. I'd say it is a very slim odds. Let's see that time by 24.1 for Zach Rogers as he's still fighting with Charles Sanford. Ellison a 23.894. And Charles is gonna get it done the hard way. He's gonna pass Zach Rogers on the outside. So we approach lap 40. Still no signs of anyone down pit road. So we take a look at our nice pit lane 1 camera. And there's the pit lane 2 camera down the back straightaway. Didn't even think of it, but they are catching lap traffic too, Vince.
Yeah, it can affect the tires, but I don't know if they're close enough just yet. I think it doesn't matter anyway. The pit stop's pretty much looming in the next 2 or 3 laps here.
We are past halfway, so I think if you undercut here, you are looking pretty good.
Less fall off, maybe? They're going to try to extend the run on the first run? Less fuel. The overcut could work here if you want to take less fuel. But I don't know. It'd be a risky strategy to go 55 laps or say, do an extreme overcut.
Tell you what, Jonathan Wong has really surprised me being able to hold on to 3rd place this entire run. He's looking to gain the most points out of anybody on Max Anderson. He came in 8th in the points, 124 points back. So that is that's close to 2 races. Oh, and I think we got pitters. Yep, Nate Rogers, Allison Rain on pit road, but there is lap traffic ahead. Charles Sanford will stay out. Henry Sanford will stay out with him. So the brothers electing to stay on track as it is getting kind of cloggy on the pit road. Yael Carrillo, Baranowski stay out. That's not a bad call for those two.
Someone just went through the.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are phasing through those tires. Charles Sanford stayed out another lap. That was actually a pretty wise move because he would have lost a ton of time on pit entry. But Baranowski, Carrillo, I think this move's going to help them a lot because they did not have to really slam the brakes for people coming into the pit. So Baranowski, Yael Carrillo, I say smart call to y'all.
No.
Except for that. Oh, does Baranowski get service? Oh, no. The pit woes continue for Baranowski here in 2021.
Oh.
And forget the strategy call. That just went out the window. But Charles Sanford stuck it out another 2 laps.
That was weird, Zach. I just think Baranowski just has no luck on pit road. We've seen it multiple times now.
Carrillo in and out of his stall. It looks like Max Anderson had a terrible pit stop, so that's really going to open up the championship standings. And now we have loads of lap traffic. There is Nate Rogers. And I believe he should re-inherit the race lead here. There's Charles Sanford. So, I mean, only about a second of fall off, so I don't think staying out those extra 2 laps will help really anything for Charles Sanford, especially with all this lap traffic.
Terrible for Sam Young. What happened?
Looks like Sam Young also had a terrible pit stop. He's down to 41st. Make that 40th. Looks like Christian Vargas might have had issues as well. Laura Chung down in the running order to 39th. I mean, short track pit stops, Vince. You know, things can get pretty crazy. Carrillo moved up to 20th place from that call. Man, Baranowski would have been right up there with him had she not had issues with Nicholas Jawit. Brad Lewis is up to 16th. Friesen fell down to 15th. Vince Fries up to 14th. Mitchell Collins is now inside the top 10. Owen Miles back up to 8th. Ellison in 6th. Anderson fell to 37th. Charles Sanford in 5th place still. Zach Rogers 4th. Jonathan Wong 3rd. So the top 5 remain the same. So you see Allison Rain behind Sam Young and Colton Schwartz. Baranowski completes her stop back out onto the racetrack, but it looks like she is going to finish in 42nd place.
Right, for sure, Zach. Especially with the points. I mean, that's killer with Wong up there and Max Anderson. Even though he didn't lose a lot to her in a sense, it's still going to be a big shift in terms of momentum.
Oh, that indeed. I mean, with Max Anderson having the poor stop running 37th right now, Baranowski is only going to lose 5 points to him, but she could have gained so much more had she just been able to get into her stall, but Nicholas Jawit was coming out, contact was made. So this is going to be huge for Gatlin Downey, who's running in 11th place currently, and especially for Ellison and Zach Rogers, who are inside the top 10. Henry Sanford as well, 6th in the points. Sam Young could have been. He lost a lot of positions too. And then Jonathan Wong, that's the next man up I saw. Donovan Cage is running in 12th. So, I mean, all those guys I just mentioned, Downey, Ellison, Rogers, Henry Sanford, Jonathan Wong, Donovan Cage, all those guys are going to gain a lot of points here on Max Anderson. It is a season-long championship, though, so they are going to need to gain a lot more points if they want a chance at this, considering how far ahead Anderson was coming into this race. It'll be 13 races left after this one.
Yeah, and this is it. This is the season pretty much. This 9-10 week stretch we talked about from Texas on, I guess, to Talladega, really. This is the big stretch. Let's see who can come to the rise to the occasion. But right now, Zach, seems like Rogers has it under control at the front.
Yeah, the stretch would be Texas of race 4 to Michigan of race 13. And then there's the 2-week break to Dega and the 3-week break to Puka Kohei. And then that's when we start having the jumps, a month to Oswego, 2 weeks to Bristol Dirt, 2 weeks to Atlanta, another 2 weeks to Papyrus. Then they go to Memphis the week after that, but then there's another 3-week break to Chicagoland. So, after Michigan, we really just start jumping in with this break here, this break there, this big break here. And, that's when we really start to, we'll really seeing the consistency, I think, in this stretch, like you said. It's a 10-race stretch. But Allison Rain in her second race of the year looks like she's going to get another top 3 finish. Jonathan Wong has the trucks of Will Parrish and Joshua Teppensaw between him and Zach Rogers for third. Jack James in the middle between Rogers and Charles Sanford for fourth.
Seems like the overcut's not going to worse. They have too much traffic and way too much dirty air. I don't see it happening.
Ellison by himself in 6th. Anderson made it up to 36th place. There's Baranowskis, several laps down, so she's definitely got a tire advantage. Colt Hudson in 7th. You see him trying to inch away from Owen Miles, who's under fire from Henry Sanford. This could be a crucial 2 points if Henry Sanford can get past Owen Miles, considering the runs Anderson and Baranowskis are having tonight. As Mitchell Collins is still inside the top 10, but Gatlin Downey, Donovan Cage, Delon Ibrahimian are closing in, and one of these 3 could be looking at 10 more points on their night, and that would be huge for either Downey or Donovan Cage, considering where they are in the point standings. But let's talk about those rookies there, Vince. Owen Miles comes in 13th in the points with a single top 5 on the season. He's the highest rookie in the point standings, ahead of Laura Chung. This top 10 would really help him out in the points, maybe get him closer to top 10 in the standings. And as for Mitchell Collins comes into this race very far down in the points, 42nd in the standings. Without a single top 10, his average finished position through 7 races, a 31.43.
He's just still looking to learn and gain experience. That's what it's all about. Maybe fight each other at the end of the year for that Rookie of the Year battle. But for right now, it's just about gaining that laps of knowledge.
So these 4 are running in their own little lane. Back to Carter Friesen for 14th, so it doesn't look like Friesen will get a top 10 tonight. But definitely a better run than where he has been finishing. Friesen's average starting position is a 16.57 to his average finishing position of a 28.29, so that number might narrow up a little bit tonight. How about Vince Friesen, 15th place? He comes in 26th in the points. Brad Lewis in 16th. We saw Brad do very well at the Dodge Motordrome, doing good at another shorty tonight. He comes in 34th in the standings. Logan Williams, 17th, came in 30th in the standings. He's got a top 10 on the season. Benjamin Ice in 18th place, comes in 17th in the points with 3 top 10s. Jean Sanford, the last Sanford on track, in 19th place. She came in 16th in the points with a top 5, top 10 on the year. And Yael Creo, there he is, man, in 20th place. As there's Nate Rogers trying to put Deanna Jones a lap down. That would leave us with 22 trucks on the lead lap.
He's mowing them down tonight, Zach. There's no doubt about that. I think he can get up to 17th, actually. Only 17 at the end of the race if he continues this pace, as Allison Rain is nowhere to be found.
Yes, indeed. So if he got up to Benjamin Ice, that would leave 17 trucks on the lead lap. We'll be hitting 15 laps to go this time by, so a very good tame race. You know, just that one pit road contact there for Baranowskis and Nicholas Jawit really cost Baranowskis, and that'll be something to keep note of for the Digital Storm race tomorrow night. Is if you start way in the back, you better be careful because things could get sketchy on pit road.
I think from a cost perspective, too, after last week's shenanigans, it's good to have a nice, clean race. These teams get a nice, no-nonsense night under their belt.
So Charles Sanford has made it by Jack James. Baranowskis is right behind him now as Charles is looking to get a position on Zach Rogers. That would be for 4th place. That would cost Rogers 3 points in the championship hunt, which would be big for him, not so big for Charles Sanford. He's not running the full season. Charles is in his 3rd start on the year tonight. He won back at Auto Club. And I forget where else he ran. He ran last week at North Wilkesboro. He was looking good at North Wilkesboro, and then he got crashed out. So Charles looking to get a better run to make up for that here tonight. Look at Baranowskis, the way her tires are just so much better. She's just really able to dive it into the corner. Charles will go wide and just kind of let her take it. Maybe see if he can get set up for a run off the corner if she makes a move on Rogers here in the turn 1. As the top 10 has not changed at all. You still got Henry Sanford right behind Owen Miles and Mitchell Collins just with a bumper full of Gatlin Downey.
Got the one slipping high up there.
Honestly, though, I think the biggest moment of excitement all race was when Ellison made it 3 wide on Miles and Henry Sanford, and he took 2 spots through the exit of turn 2.
And from the pit road contact. That's about it. That's all we've had tonight.
So pretty quiet race. So there you see Baranowskis get by the 39. Charles not really had a chance to set anything up there. Jonathan Wong will end up being the fastest lap winner on the night. Charles is making a move on the outside of Zach Rogers for 4th place. Trying to maybe use the 78 to pin him to the bottom.
Might get it here on the brakes. Let's see.
There's the run off the exit of turn 2. Charles trying to set himself up for a great corner exit. There it is. Even at the start-finish line. See here into turn 1 and 2 if he can pinch him enough to get it clear. And he will do just that. So Charles Sanford will take away 4th place from Zach Rogers here, coming to 7 laps to go. That'll cost Rogers 3 points gained on Max Anderson. And not really do anything for Charles except boost his average finish on the Jerky Pro season. And all that fighting has allowed Ellison to close the gap in 6th place. See if Ellison has a shot at a top 5 after all or not. Time is running out. Max Anderson kind of just chilling out in 36th. He's not really going forward. And he's just trying not to lose this point to Stephen Colon. It's 35th place. Patrick Smith is a decent ways out of reach. And this has been the big battle for Downey and Cage, is to just get by Mitchell Collins. They're going to be coming to 4 laps to go. See, Downey's going to try and do what Charles Sanford did. Now, Spotter might be telling him about that. Might be telling him, hey, if you go to the top, you might be able to get a run. Set yourself up. But right there, all it did was open the door for Donovan Cage. But Downey will clear him back into turn 1.
Just got to try something different with a couple laps to go get that top 10. You see Friesen trying to sneak in, but running out of time here at Richmond.
Three laps to go there at the start-finish line. Henry Sanford hasn't been able to do anything to Owen Miles for 8th place either.
Rogers up high.
Rogers to the top side by Jack James. Ellison's going to go to the inside of Patrick Smith here. Ellison trying to maybe get something on Zach Rogers, but it might just be too little too late. Zach Rogers will go back to the outside of Charles Sanford for 4th place, but Charles will get to the inside of Teppensaw. As white flag is out, And Nate Rogers did in fact do it, Vince. He got up to 17th on the track, a lap down. And coming through turns 3 and 4, Nate Rogers will be the first Digital Storm driver to win twice in the Jerky Pro this year. Nate wins it at Richmond Raceway. And he's also the first driver to get 2 wins in Jerky Pro overall on the year. So that'll be Nate's, let's see here, 3rd career Jerky Pro Truck Series victory. And that makes him the 9th driver to achieve that feat.
An overall tame race here. Great job to Nate. Just stuck out there, led them from start to finish, I guess you would say. I'm not sure if he led every lap, but I think it was close. Out of the pit cycle. And took care of business. Pickford did a good job on that stop, too. Well done.
I believe it was indeed every lap but the 2 laps. Charles Sanford stayed out to lead. However, we don't give bonus points for leading laps, so not really a big deal, but Nate definitely with a good show of performance, similar to Quentin Moore at the Dodge Motordrome and Charles Sanford earlier this year at Auto Club. So that'll do it for us here today for the Jerky Pro Truck Series, and we will see you guys tomorrow night for Digital Storm Cup Series.
Bye.